What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. We're going to get back to work on the 49 Chevy. We've got to finish welding in the cross member so we can start mocking up all the rest of the parts on it. Make sure everything's where it's supposed to be, and just get this thing moving forward. So let me turn you around here and I'll show you more of what I'm talking about. So you can see where we left off on the last video. Actually ran out of welding wire in the welder. So we got that all filled up with some new wire, so we should be good to go there. And we're just gonna finish welding all this cross member back in. So all under here, underneath, fully up here, and then meet up with this weld on both sides. So that shouldn't take much. It's just we gotta do this side and that side, and then we'll be able to tack these upper spring pockets in. You can see it's pretty much just another. At first, we're just going to tack them, make sure and then mock everything up, make sure everything is where it's supposed to be before we fully burn these in. So let's get back into the welding. Alright, so we got this side pretty much all the way welded in. You can see it's welding pretty nice. I'm happy with that. Got it welded all the way around. Got the hat there. Around. All connected. And then all the way down that side. And we're going to do that back side and then go across the other side and do the same thing. So we're fully welded in now. We got the complete cross member welded and every inch underneath, all around. So burnt in completely. Happy with the welds. Came out pretty clean. I'm gonna end up grinding these all down anyways and making them look pretty, and they're gonna get coated with paint. And see if I can get you up under there. So it's fully welded on both sides, up underneath, all the way around. So now it's time to tack on the frame. I guess you'd call them the spring perches here. So we'll get that centered up with our center line. We'll measure that across and get that centered as best we can. Tack that in, and we should be able to start assembling it and putting everything on it and seeing where we're at with it. Making sure everything looks right. These definitely have to be welded in the right position. I mean, sometimes you gotta take some material off and adjust them. So you can't just go and burn them right in. So you just gotta make sure that you have full adjustments, or I guess land right in the middle of where you can adjust the upper control arm, you know, in and out. And so you want that to land like right in the middle, so you have, you know, positive and negative camber and all that to adjust correctly. So if you get it one way or the other, you may not be able to get the vehicle aligned right where it should be. So we're gonna go ahead and get these tacked in and then start putting everything together and measuring and see where we're at. Another thing is too, on this Speedway kit, these are, they have to be per side. So there's a left and a right, or whatever, driver, passenger. And it has, these upper hats have what they call anti-dive built in. So you can see the amount of material here to here is less. So these you have to make sure that these are on the right side, or else you will be doing yourself a world of hurt, and you'll end up having to cut these back off and put them on the correct side. Because the reason they have that angled like that, so when the vehicle comes to a stop, the front end doesn't nose down dive, so it's got an angle to the front suspension. This is the right side. So you can see it's kind of angled upwards, so when you hit the brakes, the front of the vehicle doesn't dive real quick. So just tip, if you guys are doing one of these kits yourself, make sure they're marked right and left. Make sure you got it on the right side, or else that would be horrible to weld one of these in and realize you put them on the wrong side. So you can see I measured across the tops of them, lined up my center line with the cross member. Same with that side, all the way up. So we know they're equally split across, and they're just tack welded in. So if I have to, I can knock those off there if something's wrong. So yeah, you guys can see that's pretty much the cross member and the top hats installed. And now we get to mock up all the rest of the suspension. So basically I'm gonna assemble it like I'm done. And then like I said, we're gonna go over the dimensions of the spindle and just make sure that the steering geometry and the alignment geometry is within spec. So that's what's super important with this kit. You can't have anything off even a little bit, or else it's really gonna throw off the ability to align the vehicle and have it go straight down the road. But I'm pretty confident so far. This is looking pretty good. My lines are lined up. I measured to see if everything is square, and it's all very, very close. So I'm super happy with the outcome so far. So we're just gonna move forward and start throwing this thing together, and then we'll start measuring everything. All right, you guys, we kind of made it as far as we're gonna get today. We're gonna hit it up again tomorrow. I got quite a bit done. We got the cross member fully welded in, and I've got one side mocked up, and the passenger side fender back on it, so I could check the center line of the spindle to the fender. So yeah, we're gonna hit it up again tomorrow, do the same thing to the driver's side, and hopefully get everything fully welded in tomorrow, and then we can start final assembly and go into doing like paint and final assembly. So we'll hit it up again tomorrow, so see you guys then. So I'll give you guys a shot of what we got done today. As you can see, we got a fender back on it, and we got, like I said, the passenger side mocked up. Zoom in there for you so you guys can see the upper control arms on it, the bags mounted, you got the spindle on, lower control arm, and everything's looking pretty good, looking centered, but again, we still have to measure everything to make sure. And I still want to get, like I said, the other side done and throw a tire and wheel on it, so we can see exactly where the wheel is centered in the fender. So, I mean, I guess if we had to right now, we could still adjust that upper hat left, right, back and forth or whatever if we had to, if it wasn't exactly where I want it. But yeah, we'll continue it again tomorrow and hopefully finalize everything, get it all fully welded in. It's another shot of it. See, we just got the upper hat there tacked in and everything assembled, and hopefully everything's where it should be and falls within spec. It looks like it is to me, but again, we have to measure it. I got to get that tire and wheel on it and make sure everything looks aesthetically centered and eye-pleasing. So still got to do this side, and I said we'll finish it up tomorrow hopefully, so see you guys then. What's up, YouTube? We're back at it the next day, and yes, I am wearing the same clothes. But back to the 49. We pretty much got everything mocked up. I assembled everything, both sides, measured the camber, and it's all falling within specs, so I'm super happy on that. And with this being an air suspension car, you can't really set it too perfect. It's kind of just going to have to be like kind of in the middle, because you know you're up and down travel all the time from the air suspension. So it's not like if you had a coil spring or a coilover in there, you could set it to a certain camber and leave it. So it's a little bit different with airbags. You kind of going to have to set your ride height on it, and then adjust the alignment according to where your ride height's going to be. So I kind of measured the camber for full travel, up and down, all the way laid out to all the way up, raised up, and it's all falling within spec. I mean, and right in the middle is about where I want to be at, and that's like a half a degree of positive camber. So I'm happy with that, and like I said, I'll be able to adjust it. It's definitely got plenty of adjustment in either way. So we're gonna go ahead and burn in the upper hats now, and after that it'll be done. I can start cleaning up the welds and throwing some paint on some of this stuff, and getting it fully assembled for the last time before we start putting that motor in. So I'll turn you around, show you guys what I got going. Yeah, so you can see it's fully assembled. We got up and down travel, which is pretty freaking sweet. This thing's gonna lay out nicely under full compression, man. The spindle center line is way up in the body, so this thing should definitely lay out on the ground. Super happy with that. But yeah, we got it all pretty much assembled now, both sides. And we're gonna go ahead and take it all back apart now. All this has to come off, and I'll fully weld the upper spring pockets in. And that'll be that. Clean up all these welds, grind all the slag off of the frame and get it smoothed out. So next time I can paint it and that'll be that. So we're gonna go ahead and disassemble all this so we can get back to welding.
Sick of that smoke. Sick of your lonely hideaways. Calling me at 3 in the morning. 3 in the morning. I'm sick of that smoke. I'm sick of your lonely hideaways. Crashing on my door. Let's go get stoned. Pretend that we're all alone. Let's go get high. Forget this town. Forget this town, and we'll drive. We'll drive. Drive, 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 and we'll drive.
One's done.
Sick of this city. Ain't it
Another super important thing to remember to not do when you're welding your car in the garage is catch the garage on fire. So always remember to be aware of your surroundings in between welds and look around, because there's flammable stuff all over, so don't burn your garage down. Or your pants or yourself or anything.
Right in the exact same spot where my mind used to rock. Where my mind used to rock. Now pull up beside you, say hop on in. Hop on in and we'll drive. We'll drive. Drive. Put my picture on the shelf, and I pretend I'm someone else, and I'll meet you in.
That ain't going anywhere. All right, so we've got the Mustang 2 front end fully welded in. Definitely pleased with the outcome. Everything pretty much lined up and how it should be. Everything fits right. This kit was really wasn't that hard to install, so definitely give props to Speedway for producing something that, you know, most people that know how to weld and grind and wrench can easily install on their car. So it wasn't bad at all. And it's pretty much done now. I just have to, I've got it all mocked up, so I just have to take it apart and paint it, and then paint all the parts. I'm gonna have to paint the control arms, the spindles, you know, all the bare metal's got to get coated in black. So, and we're just gonna go ahead and clean up the whole front of this subframe and get it blacked out up to the firewall, at least for now anyways, until I get the body off the chassis and I'm able to clean up, you know, the whole chassis. But yeah, that's gonna be the next step, is just making things look a little more prettier by laying some paint. And soon after that, after I paint it, I'll be able to put the brake kit on it, and we'll run some air lines to the bags and just do like a manual fill valve for now, so I'll be able to raise and lower the car so we can see if everything clears and how it's going to look laid out, which I can't wait to see that. So I'll get you turned around and show you what's up. So there you go. See, it's fully installed, all welded up. Looks pretty good. Definitely pleased. Can't wait to have this thing rolling down the road, hitting switches. But man, this kit really wasn't bad for the price of it, and it's definitely one of the lower cost kits out there. But I mean, it's got Ride Tech bags, Ride Tech mounts, Ride Tech shock mounts, so there's some good quality here. It's not all just made by Speedway. I got a chance to clean up some of the welds of the grinder, got all the spatter off. If you guys can see, I'll give you some shots of that. Came out pretty good for an average builder. I'm pleased with it. So once I clean this all up and get it painted, it'll look pretty smooth. But yeah, totally happy with it. Shot of the side. Not bad. Fully welded all the way around the hats. Everything underneath got welded up. So yeah, it's awesome. Feels good to be past this point. This was a big hurdle for this car, is getting rid of all that old 1949 suspension and updating it with this Mustang 2 air suspension. It's pretty slick. I haven't bolted in the lower bag yet, but you can see it fully articulates. It's badass. When I have this thing jacked up, this spindle line is way up into the body, so this thing's definitely going to lay out pretty well. But yeah, that's going to wrap up this video of the Mustang 2 install. I hope some of you guys, if you're contemplating buying this kit, that you go through with it, because it's definitely a bargain, and it really wasn't hard to install. If you can lay some welds, you can easily do this. You just got to take your time and measure everything, and like they say, measure 5 times, weld once. So yeah, you guys leave me some comments down below on what you think about the kit, the progress of the 49 so far. Love to hear what you think. And what's next? I guess, like I said, we're gonna get that all painted up and cleaned. And there's the LS motor sitting over here. I haven't shown you guys that yet, updated on that. So just got the cylinder heads back from the machine shop. So they are all freshened up. New springs by Comp Cams. I put some BTR valve stem seals in there. They did a valve job on it. They pressure checked them. They milled them 10 thousandths. So they should be good to go. And I do have everything to put that thing back together now too. So there'll be a video coming up soon on the complete build of the LS motor. And I just want to put it out there that one of my viewers, they pointed out when I had this motor flipped over and that you could see the crank numbers. So let me get you turned around here. So yeah, the guy I went and bought this motor from said it was a 5.3, and it's not a 5.3, come to find out. When I flipped it over and looked at the crank numbers on there, said 482 on the crank, which is a 4.8 liter, which I was kind of bummed at first because I really, had it in my mind that it was a 5.3, and I was excited to build a 5.3 for the car. But when I was looking for an LS motor, I was looking for a 4.8 or a 5.3. So I guess I'm not overly salty about it, but at the same time, it's hard to tell on these engines because when they're in full dress, you really can't tell what they are on the outside of them. But it is what it is, and I'm not mad about it because it's still going to be plenty of motor for this car. And it's not a drag race car. It's not going to see high RPM and lots of power anyways, but it'll still be a good little motor for this car. But I want to shout out to that viewer for pointing that out to me, because I probably would have missed that if I wouldn't have paid attention. And I kind of got an education on the numbers for the crank, and if it's a 5.3, it's going to say 1225 on the crank, not 482. So if you guys ever trying to find out what motor yours is, make sure you look at the crank numbers, and that'll tell you. But yeah, that's gonna wrap up this video. Like I said, if you're new to the channel, make sure that you subscribe to watch this build go down. Just got the Mustang 2 front suspension installed. The LS is going in it soon after we get that all painted up. And it's gonna be a sweet ride, so make sure that you guys follow, subscribe, give me a thumbs up, and I'll see you guys on the next video. Later.